friends, Romans, countrymen, investors, enthusiasts, cryptographers, libertarians, lend me your ears. Now is not a time for apathy. Now is a time for thought. Develop an opinion. I got a thought. I think that by investing in Bitcoin today, that's going to lead to life-changing wealth in the future. And an opportunity like this doesn't come around every day now. Things like this come around once a decade, once a few decades. And I think we are here today. Now today, only 1% of the world's population is invested in Bitcoin. Well, I think that number is going to grow. And that's a risk-reward that we take on as early adopters. I've made it no secret. I'm accumulating Bitcoin. You know why? Because Bitcoin is decentralized. It's hard money. You know what? Bitcoin's becoming more and more decentralized every single year. We'll get to that in a second. But for me, I think there's always going to be a market for money that cannot be confiscated. I think there's always going to be a market for that kind of freedom. And I get it. With Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this is the early days, right? Things are a little clunky. But keep this in mind. Things are always a little clunky in the beginning. Think back. Think back to the 1990s. Now, maybe not you, but many people couldn't imagine that the internet would one day replace newspapers, or TV, or phone calls, or shops, and many, many other things. I mean, back in 1994, if you would have told me that one day that everybody in the world would be emailing, and that one day we'd reach a point where if you weren't on email, then you'd be missing out, I would have thought you were crazy. Email? It's clunky, it's slow. Why would I email? Why would I ever use email? I can just send you a letter. Or I can just go in the kitchen and use the phone. Well, a few years later, blink of an eye, mass adoption happened. Now I think we're in a similar situation today. Today, people cannot imagine that Bitcoin will ever be mass adopted as money. But give it time. It's clunky, it's slow now, yes, but give it a few years. Bitcoin will do to money what the internet did for information, and guess what? Money is a lot bigger market. Anyways, in the short term, I think we're going down. And I've given you my reasons as to why we're going down for the past couple weeks. So, by the way, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Welcome, everybody. This is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. And the reason you subscribe to our channel is for our daily videos, keeping you informed on everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. We talk about things that the mainstream media will not discuss. Well, at least not discuss in any significant detail. You know, by the time they actually talk about this stuff, it's probably going to be too late. I mean, not too late to use Bitcoin, but too late to invest in it and make significant money. But hopefully that day comes, right? Anyways, I've been saying that we've been going down for the past couple weeks. I think I started saying it over here. And keep in mind, I'm no expert, but it's kind of obvious, right? Low volume. We're just in this downtrend. And when I said it over here, I think it's even more true today. Now, the only saving grace that we actually do have is this 200-week moving average right here. Let me just snap this back. Okay. The only saving grace we have is this 200-week moving average right here. And in my opinion, although the 200-week moving average is generally considered a strong support or resistance to break through, I think we're going to break down. It's just the market interest and the market sentiment just doesn't seem to be there yet, right? We need more time. But you know what? That's a buying opportunity, I think. So how far could we fall? Well, our next major level support is at 2,800, but that's not where I'm setting my buy order. You can see that we had this as support and resistance all the way back here. A few times over here, 1 or 2 times over here. But I'm actually setting my buy order to 2,500, or just maybe a little bit above. Now you can see in the 2,500 region, we have a lot more resistance and support levels. So we'll see. How about you? Do you have a buy order waiting? Are you looking to buy once we drop to another level? Let me know in the comments. See, now my plans after we drop, let's say we drop. Let's say we drop. If we drop and hit any of these levels of support, we might see a bounce back up. And you know what? If we can bounce up significantly, if we can get close to $5,000, $6,000, we have a lot of resistance now at the $6,000 price point. Probably going to take some profits. We'll see. Anyways, I just wanted to share my plans with you. Generally speaking, I'm in accumulation mode right now because I think the whole cryptocurrency market can get a whole lot bigger. Let's talk about some recent news. All right, so Bitcoin is becoming more decentralized, indicates new research. So this is great to hear, right? Because the more decentralized Bitcoin becomes, the better this is for the network effect, the harder it would be for anybody to shut it down. And so let me show you the details. So Bitcoin has become more decentralized by several measures, according to Canadian financial services from Canaccord Genuity Group. In its February report, the firm said Bitcoin was less decentralized in its early days, as measured by its hash rate distribution. However, over the last few years, increased competition among mining chip manufacturers has led to decreased centralization. This is what I like to hear. So you can see a snapshot of the mining hash rate distribution in 2014, and you can see that half of the hash rate was taken up by ghash.io. Well, here we are today, and you can see it's much more decentralized. Now, I do think that Antpool and BTC.com are really part of the same group, but still, it is less than 50%. It is foundationally positive, as they say right here. Moving on, other good things. The number of transactions today are as high as January 2018, yet the fees have never been lower. So, of course, in late December of 2017 and early January 2018, that's when we saw the peak interest in the cryptocurrency bubble. And at that time, fees were pretty high. Now, today, the interest is just as high, but now the fees are a lot lower. Very good news. How about this? Number of unique addresses used. So this is unique addresses for Bitcoin, and in all of its history since 2009. And obviously you can see at the height of the cryptocurrency bubble in late 2017, where we reached over 1 million unique addresses. And these are active addresses, I believe. Since then, we have obviously corrected, but we are still significantly higher than we've ever been in Bitcoin's past history. So we'll see how that develops. How about this? This is actually some not so good news on Ethereum. 10% of Ethereum DApps are used on any given day, which means that 90% of Ethereum DApps are not used on any given day. We still have yet to see, or we still have yet to find a killer decentralized application that would, put something like Ethereum or EOS or anything like that over the top. So right now, for me, the name of the game is Bitcoin, because that actually has a real-world use case that can only see growing. If Bitcoin has a 1 in 100 chance of succeeding, I think that any of these altcoins would probably have a 1 in 1,000 shot to 1 in a million. Now, Ethereum probably has a better shot than most, but we need to find that killer app that people actually want to use. Wells Fargo. Don't put more money into your bank account than you're willing to lose. So, you probably already heard the story. Actually, Crypto Bobby made a great video on it. You should check that out. But Wells Fargo had some problems, and people could not access their money. I recommend checking out this guy's video if you want to find out more about that. But it's, what's there to say? This is a perfect example of why we need Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will never stop you from accessing your money. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yeah, it's really what I wanted to talk to you about today. Yeah, if you want to stick around, you can check out the Twitter. But that's, really what I wanted to share with you, the fact that I put in a buy order for 2,500. And we'll see what happens. Maybe it never gets down to 2,500. Maybe we bounce off 2,800. And you know what? That's okay. I'm not here to FOMO into anything. If it gets below 2,500, my buy order will be filled, and then we'll go from there. But I am suspecting once we drop down, if we drop down, we'll see some sort of rally back, and hopefully it can be a sustained rally. People will say, oh, this is it, this is the next bull run, but it could be a dead cat bounce, could be many things. Overall, I'm in this for the long term, and I don't know about you, but I'm going to be here. Let's see what's going on Twitter. Our Twitter is at altcoindailyio. Oh yeah, Anthony Pompliano. Wells Fargo system is shut down right now. Bitcoin never shuts down. Yes, exactly. Our point. What else? All right, the Saifedean, who is the author of the Bitcoin. Let me pull it up. This book was only written. This book was only written last year in April of 2018, but it is a must read. Do yourself a favor, get this as a coffee table book. It will help you understand why Bitcoin can become money. But Saifedean, happy to tell you that after showing my professor the Bitcoin standard, he has made it the assigned textbook for our class on cryptocurrencies at Stanford Law School. Thank you so much for your work. What are you guys doing right now? I'm going to release this in a few hours. You'll probably see this the next morning. But right now I am just hunkered down in my Los Angeles apartment. Here, let's go. This is what my city looks like. Hollywood, California, baby. Me and my brother, who both do videos on this channel, we're in the entertainment industry out here. And we're cryptocurrency enthusiasts turned into cryptocurrency investors. I haven't said this in a while, but I did make a little bit of money back in the day with cryptocurrency. Plan to make a whole lot more in the future. I do think that where we are right now it's going to grow in the next several years, just like the internet grew back in the day. And even though we have a bubble that popped in late 2017, early 2018, if you hold on to projects that actually have use, they're going to go on even bigger than before, just like Amazon did. Now the key is invest in something like Amazon and hold, and don't invest in something in pets.com and hold. And how would you really know that back in the day, back in 1999? If you would have invested in both Amazon and pets.com, they both would have popped and sunk down significant losses. Now, one sold books on the internet, one sold pet supplies on the internet. Who would have known that the books one would go on to succeed? Well, exactly. We don't really know which project is going to succeed, possibly something that hasn't even happened yet. But I do think that Bitcoin will succeed, or has the best chance, because it's the only one that is decentralized, or it's the most decentralized. It's literally unconfiscatable, and the network's going to continue to grow. It's going to become more and more decentralized. Anybody can set up a Bitcoin node. I personally don't do it myself, but I am looking into it. I would recommend setting up a Bitcoin node just to be a part of the global network distribution. That's it. So this is we just passed the you saw those guys here. Let's go back. This is the everything $5. These guys are always out here like closing. It's called the $10 store, and they have one day only $5 signs. They have it every day. They get the tourists with that stuff. It's just T-shirts and trinkets. All right, that is it for me, my friends. I will see you tomorrow.